Good afternoon. Please remain standing for the national anthem, which will be sung by members of the Georgia Tech Glee Club.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. Special thanks to the Glee Club for singing that rendition of the national anthem and for entertaining us during the start of the program. The Georgia Tech Glee Club is one of 400 student organizations that offers our students a way to use your talents and leadership skills to help improve our campus. I hope that many of you will explore these opportunities with one of these 400 student organizations as you begin your college career. Georgia Tech is an institution that's steeped in tradition. Your undergraduate student government president, Nicholas Picone, will give you an overview of some of the traditions in just a few minutes. But one of our traditions is to hand out rat caps at convocation. You are rats, recently acquired Tech students. If you've not already done so, reach into your bag that you received and pull out your rat cap and please put it on. You all look great, and now you've participated in your first Georgia Tech tradition. To all of the parents and other guests who have joined us today, we extend a special welcome, and we look forward to having you back on campus many times, whether for family weekend, for sporting events, or just visits with your students. I'd also like to extend a special welcome and thanks to the student leaders that are with us here today, members of Facet, the Freshman Experience, the Rec Club, the Student Government Association, the Student Alumni Association, and student ambassadors are all here to help us celebrate this day today. At this time, I'd like to introduce several members of the stage party, and will ask that they stand as I call their names. Dr. Zvi Galil, Dean of the College of Computing. Dr. Leslie Sharp, representing the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts. Dr. Stephen French, Dean of the College of Architecture. Dr. Sridhar Narasimhan, Associate Dean of the Scheller College of Business. Dr. Paul Goldbart, Dean of the College of Sciences. Dr. Sue Ann Bidstrup Allen, Associate Dean of the College of Engineering. Dr. Nelson Baker, Dean of Professional Education. Dr. Catherine Murray Rust, Vice Provost for Learning Excellence and Dean of the Libraries. Dr. Paul Cohn, Vice President for Enrollment Services. Dr. Donna Llewellyn, Associate Vice President, Provost of Learning Excellence and Director of CEDL. Dr. Stephen Gerardo, Assistant Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education. Dr. Carol Moore, Assistant Vice Provost, Academic Affairs. Dr. Susan Cousins, Vice Provost, Graduate Education and Faculty Affairs. Dr. Colin Potts, Vice Provost, Undergraduate Education, and today's mace bearer, Miss Lynn Durham, Assistant Vice President and Chief of Staff, Mr. Barrett Carson, Vice President for Development, Dr. Archie Irvin, Vice President for Institute Diversity, Dr. William Schaefer, Vice President for Student Affairs, Mr. Dean Sheehan, Executive Director of Government and Community Relations, and Mr. John Stein, Dean of Students. Please give them a round of applause. We introduce these folks that are here with us today because they're the ones that will assist you as you go through your Georgia Tech experience. Get to know them, use them as resources. They are here to help you. Over the past 2 decades, Georgia Tech has grown into one of the most global universities in the world, with partnerships in more than 30 countries. We have operations in France, in Ireland, in Costa Rica, in Panama, and in China. Georgia Tech students represent 118 countries, and surrounding us today are the flags from the 58 countries which represent the countries of our freshman class. This is quite impressive, and I hope you'll take the opportunity to get to know someone from another country. We live in a global society, and this is one of the few times in most of your lives when you will have the opportunity and the time to interact with people throughout the world. I'm pleased to introduce Mr. Nicholas Selby, a second-year mechanical engineering student who will give us the sophomore welcome. Nick?
You're probably wondering why I gathered you together today. It is my honor as a representative of the class of 2016 to welcome the faculty and new students and parents of the Georgia Institute of Technology. Congratulations, you are all officially Yellow Jackets. When I reflect back upon the many things I have learned during my first year here at Tech, 10 in particular stand out in my mind as most important. 1, call your mother. She will worry about you every day for a while, and it'll make her happy if you call her. Just make sure there aren't a bunch of screaming girls, loud music, or some guy yelling obscenities in the background when you call. 2, unless the professor is truly awful, try to take classes from the more difficult professors for your major courses. They tend to make you work the hardest, and you'll end up knowing the material better. 3, do laundry often. I know this sounds obvious, but when you find yourself without any clean undies, you will think of this advice and say, man, Nick was right. I bet he has on clean undies right now. 4, make sure you get out and see new places. Be it through weekend trips with friends along the East Coast or studying abroad, now is the best time in our lives to get out and see the world. 5, join a club, team, or extracurricular activity. You are never stagnant. You are either growing and maturing or falling behind. 6, try to get internships. While difficult, going to a career fair and giving people your resume is good practice. And if you get the job, the experiences you gain will help you after college. 7, C-style indexing for an n-length array is 0 to n-1, whereas in MATLAB it is 1 to n. I don't know if that makes sense to you just yet. But if you're not careful, it'll get you eventually. Number 8, try to sit up front in classes. Just like Frodo was a creature of Hobbit, Georgia Tech students are creatures of habit. Whatever seat you choose on the first day will likely be the seat you get all semester. Sit up in the first few rows and you'll be more likely to pay attention and have the professor remember you. Number 9, get sleep. And one of the best ways to ensure that you can get sleep is to start working on homework right when it's assigned and start studying for tests a week before you take them. And lastly, number 10, remember why you're here. To master a body of knowledge. So that's the best of my list so far, and I think that last one is most important. You see, of the many reasons I chose Georgia Tech, one in particular stands out above the rest. I am going to build the Iron Man suit. That's right, as cute as my application essays were, green energy and world peace can wait. I want to fly around the world in an impenetrable suit of armor, dating Gwyneth Paltrow. And really, I like to think that's why we're all here. See, for as long as I can remember, I've wanted to be an inventor. I still carry around a little notebook full of my ideas. And whether you're learning how to close a big business deal or design a major public policy decision, we chose Georgia Tech because we want to do the impossible. And this school is equipped with the resources and faculty to help us do just that. And so, in the words of Sir Isaac Newton, if I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Georgia Tech is proud of its many traditions, but the one I find most exciting is our tradition of excellence. Our mission as students is not to follow in the footsteps of the astronauts, Nobel Prize laureates, and presidents who graduated before us, but to exceed their footsteps, crush the shoulders of the giants upon whom we stand. We here are all such innovative people, so I am telling you, if you want to change the world, you're at Georgia Tech. You can do that. If you want to build the Iron Man suit, you're at Georgia Tech. You can do that. If you want to play theme music during your convocation speech like a badass, we're at Georgia Tech. We can do that. I am doing that. Congratulations on your acceptance. And brace yourselves for a hell of a ride on your way to becoming a hell of an engineer.
Well, thanks, Nick. Appreciate you getting them warmed up a little bit. It's now my pleasure to introduce the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Raphael Bross.
So, 4 years from now, you can be Nick. I don't know how I can follow that performance. Absolutely fantastic, Nick. As you heard, I'm Raphael Bross. I'm the Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. That means I'm in charge of all academic issues, you, and everything that you receive. We are really pleased that we can get you here. You are the very best the nation and other nations have to offer. You're the brightest, and we're very proud to have you here. Parents, thank you very much for loaning us, your daughters and sons, for the next few years. As new students and the next generation of leaders, you're critically important to the future of Georgia Tech. The vision of the Institute states, Georgia Tech will define the technological university of the 21st century. The operating words are define. We're not followers. We're a university. We cover the gamut of many subjects, and everything we do has to be excellent. We are not, and you are not, followers. Charting your own course requires careful planning, which we have done with our strategic plan, and I certainly encourage you to peruse that document that pretty much dictates everything we do daily. One component of the Georgia Tech plan is to be a very strong voice in the areas of education, research, business, the media, and government. Our main mission is to educate you, but education goes far beyond providing material in classes. It is about being leaders. It is about being model citizens. It is about service. It is about receiving and giving. It is about acquiring a love for knowledge and for lifelong learning. It is about making the world better, including being agents, personally and institutionally, of economic development. Our strategic plan says that in all our spheres of influence, we want the world to ask, what does Georgia Tech think? From this day on, that translates to what you think. When you join us, you join a culture that we describe with the words, One Georgia Tech. That means a common adherence to values, a common commitment to achievement and excellence, and a common student experience from application to graduation. We represent you, and you represent this community. Whether you're studying architecture, international affairs, computer science, business, physics, or engineering, remember, you are all one Georgia Tech. As Nick mentioned, it is important to explore the variety of things Georgia Tech has to offer. There are plenty of extracurricular activities and organizations to join. There are daily talks, exhibits, and discussion groups. Take advantage and participate. Be a sponge for new ideas. We are located at the heart of a metropolitan area. So as you can imagine, there's plenty to do. Atlanta is a sports town, starting with our very own Division I sports program, but we also have a thriving arts community in Atlanta and in here at Georgia Tech, with classes, performances, and exhibits, including a new sculptures exhibits on campus, which I hope you had an opportunity to see. Our partnership with the Woodruff Arts Center offers you an extremely discounted world-class entertainment. It's practically free. Take advantage of it. It makes for a perfect cheap date. Our very own Technology Square is a melting pot of businesses, organizations, startup companies, research labs, of major corporations, and yes, coffee drinkers. Atlanta offers some of the best food all over the world. There's something for every budget. Together, Atlanta and Georgia Tech provide opportunities for virtually any interest, passion, and curiosity. And we hope you are full of passion and curiosity. I urge you to be proactive in everything you do. Do not sit passively and wait for people, opportunities, and ideas to come to you. Make the opportunities. You must work very hard, you must manage your time appropriately, and you must never lose sight that you're here to learn and grow as a person. Engage your fellow students, engage your professors. The professors may be tough, or may want to look tough, but their job is to make you succeed. They are more accessible than you think. Most of us love to be asked questions, to see a reaction to our words. So reach out to the professors and instructors early. Even if you do not have any problems, they will be motivated to see a student who is genuinely committed to learning. Right now, you may not fully understand the benefit of getting mentors, 1, 2, 3, or more. Nevertheless, during your time here on campus, I encourage you to make a point and get to know well at least 3 professors. I'm going to ask you for 4 years from now. These are people who will understand what it takes to succeed and who will bring a special insight into your journey and will ultimately write the references you will need. So start early, you cannot wait. Let me end by saying that despite the hard work and the demands of a place like Georgia Tech, it is important that you keep a balanced life. It is important that you have fun while learning. Never forget that all problems have solutions. That what may seem at the moment as an overwhelming concern and worry is not, and it will likely pass like everything else. And never forget that you have friends here at Georgia Tech and that we offer all the services you need to resolve any problems you may encounter in your students' or personal lives. Never, never be afraid to seek advice and help. You are not alone. You are the privileged few that have the intelligence, the discipline, and drive to attend one of the best universities of the world. We are very proud to have you here. We will work to offer you the best education and experience possible. We want you to succeed, and you will. Congratulations. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce Jessica Zimmer, a fourth-year biomedical engineering student and chair of the Honor Advisory Council.
About a year ago, you began a journey that led you to Georgia Tech, and on behalf of the council, I would like to congratulate you on your outstanding high school performance and excellent choice in universities. I hope that in the next few years, you have a rich collegiate experience full of new and exciting opportunities. In all likelihood, you chose Tech because it is one of the top programs in a field that you plan to make a career. Tech has attained its reputation through outstanding faculty, exceptional students, demanding curriculum, superior facilities, and accomplished alumni. These are the qualities that probably led you to come here and pursue degrees in one of our rigorous disciplines. But no matter how superb these elements of Tech are, they would become meaningless without the keystone of the Institute, integrity. Without the highest ethical standard, successes are hollow and reputations are tarnished forever. As many of you learned through Facet, while honor and integrity have always been an integral part of Tech's history, the honor code that we use today was established through a student initiative in 1995. Although many students view the honor code as a document put in place to get them in trouble, I think that it is important to remember that the code was created to protect all members of the Tech community. The honor code serves to ensure the rights of every individual are valued. and each student can pursue his or her degree on a level playing field. However, the protection afforded by the Honor Code is reliant upon the efforts of the entire community. It is the everyday actions of students and faculty that can either build or tear down Tech's reputation of excellence and high ethical standard. For Tech to remain a top university, integrity must be maintained. We as students must recognize our responsibility as part of this essential team that makes Georgia Tech a great place to be and to learn. To demonstrate our commitment to this responsibility, I ask that you repeat the honor challenge after me. I commit to uphold the ideals of honor and integrity by refusing to betray the trust bestowed upon me as a member of the Georgia Tech community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. You know, it's appropriate that your first assembly here as a Georgia Tech student is held in the McCamish Pavilion. You will no doubt return here several times during your Tech experience, but none will be as memorable as the time you walk across the stage a few years from now to accept your diploma. Your parents, your friends, and others, some of which may be with you here today, and all of us here on the stage are looking forward to the time when you graduate. So let's jump ahead a few years to see what the statistics might show that will become of you as members of the class of 2017, 2018, or for some 2019, depending upon how many times you change your major and how hard you work. Statistics show that 95% of you will have successfully completed your freshman year just 10 months from now and return as sophomores. In 6 years, more than 80% of you will have graduated from Georgia Tech with an average salary of over $65,000 per year, unless you're a female, in which cases your chances will be slightly higher and your salary slightly more. 51% will have taken a foreign language even though it's not required. 43% will have participated in our undergraduate research opportunities program. And more than 40% will have participated in a study abroad program. 35% will have participated in the Georgia Tech Co-op program, the largest and most extensive volunteer cooperative program in the country. It's a great way to pay for your education and to gain experience. 75% will graduate in science, technology, engineering, or math. 58% will graduate from the largest and one of the best engineering programs in the nation. 10% will go on to law or medical school. 24% will go right from Georgia Tech to graduate programs. And many of you will pursue graduate education at some point in the future. And 15% will go on to earn a PhD. When we check you in through our baccalaureate alumni survey in a few years, 96% of you will be employed. This is what the future holds for you, but it will require hard work and diligence. During your years at Tech, you'll learn to think critically, to solve problems, to work in teams, and to develop innovative solutions for some of the world's most pressing problems. You'll make friends from all over the world, many that will last a lifetime. You'll do things you never could have imagined or even thought possible. Actually, Tech students aren't waiting until they graduate to tackle some of society's most pressing challenges. One of our student speakers at commencement last year, Corbin Klett, talked about the Georgia Tech experience and issued a challenge to graduates. He graduated with a bachelor's degree in aerospace engineering, and his talk reflected the energy and impact of Georgia Tech students better than I possibly could. I'd like to share with you now a short video of his comments.
We're finally moving on into a world where the ratio is 50%, and all-nighters come with paychecks, unless you're going to grad school. Sorry about that, guys. But I especially like today because it demonstrates the importance of who we have become in the process of who we are becoming. Our walk across this stage is meaningful, I think, not just because the future holds so much promise for us, but because what we have already done is just so promising. Let me tell you about a study real quick called Strauss-Howe Generational Theory. It is a study that identifies 4 recurring generational patterns in American history. And they called us out on something a long time ago. They said that we would be the hero generation. Listen to their conjecture, see if you don't agree with them. We are a generation that will reclaim and rebuild broken societal institutions in response to a perceived threat to the nation's survival. We will ultimately rise up with social activism, collective confidence, civic engagement, and servant leadership. They say our main contributions will be revitalizing communities and advancing technology. They say that we may be the next great generation. We are by and large the generation that will rise up, step up, and stand up in the face of the world's greatest problems, and I think that the proof is in this room. I think about my friend Kevin, who invented a device to improve open heart surgery, and Melissa, who will be in Chile later this month, building a business to bring clean water to disaster areas. And some of my friends sitting out there who spend late nights walking the most dangerous streets of Atlanta, befriending victims of human trafficking and freeing them from bondage. What I like about these people is how they're so focused on results and not recognition. They don't care as much about success as they do significance. While most people do their work in order to finish it, these people do their work in order to change the world. And Georgia Tech, that's us. At this stage in the game, Go Jackets is more than just a chant, it's an imperative. Tech alum Dr. Alan Ecker, he played football for Coach Bobby Dodd, and he said something once that really stuck with me. He said to give it 100%, give it all you've got every play of the game, because you don't know what the big plays are until they're over. So as we walk across this stage, game on. Together, let's rise up as the next great generation. Go Jackets!
In a few short years, that will be you, and you'll be walking across the stage, receiving your degree from Georgia Tech. While finals may seem like a long way off, and graduation even further, they'll both be here before you know it. So take some time, be introspective, talk with those closest to you about what it means to be a Georgia Tech student, and what it is that you wish to accomplish during your time here. What is it you want from Georgia Tech other than just a degree? We have a rigorous curriculum here at Georgia Tech. We're known for it, and it helps us prepare students for leadership. But remember, you don't have to go it alone. In the days and weeks ahead, remember that you're part of a community and that there are many people in this organization who are committed to helping you succeed. We have faculty, staff, and administrators, many of whom are here today and who are prepared to partner with you and invest in your future. So don't hesitate to ask for help or advice if you need it. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the undergraduate student body president, Nicholas Picone, another aerospace engineering major. Nick?
The trouble with opportunity is that it always comes disguised as hard work. and Georgia Tech is no exception to that rule. Today, you're being given an unparalleled opportunity to attend one of the best STEM universities in the world. This opportunity is undoubtedly the result of 18 years of hard work and dedication. But your hard work is not finished, and even greater opportunities await you here at Georgia Tech. You'll travel the world, you'll work for your dream company, and you'll get to root for the greatest football team in the nation as they run onto the field behind your Ramblin' Wreck. It's all waiting for you here at Georgia Tech, but you'll have to be willing to work for it. Tomorrow morning, we'll mark your first day as a Georgia Tech student. And as a newly inaugurated member of our storied institution, you must be asking yourself what life at Georgia Tech will be like. You've probably heard stories of long study hours, of some fantastic football games, and hopefully you've heard stories about our hatred for a certain school to the north. And yet, you probably haven't been told the best thing that Georgia Tech has to offer. I truly believe that this unknown element is Georgia Tech's diversity. Take a look at where we are today. On both sides of the stage, you'll see flags representing the countries where you're all from, as Georgia Tech continues the tradition of hosting students from every country in the world. Not every country in the world, every corner of the world. This diversity is fantastic. We have students of different cultures, races, ages, financial means, you name it, we've got it. There are students who traveled thousands of miles to be here today, and some of you who probably live less than a mile away. I myself am a first-generation American. My parents came to this country from Cuba to escape communism when they were just kids, and they worked hard each and every day to ensure that my sister and I received a life full of endless opportunities. And I believe that that's why they sent me to Georgia Tech. So why is this diversity great? College is all about broadening your horizons, about opening your mind to new thoughts and theories, and about learning who you truly are. And I'm here to tell you that your classmates have just as much to teach you as your professors. Listen to their stories, learn where they're from, and latch onto what drives your peers. At the end of the day, what connects us all is one Georgia Tech. Another one of the greatest things about Tech is our traditions, and it's my pleasure to get to teach you one of those most important traditions, how to fill out your rat cap. In a bag on your seat, you should find a rat cap, along with a T-book, which is your definitive guide on everything you'll need to know about the history and traditions of Georgia Tech. You'll also find a Georgia Tech student planner, which is filled with information that we think you'll need to know as you begin your college career. I'm gonna get to help you guys today learn how to fill out your rat cap. So first of all, the word rat originally stood for Recruit at Tech. Today, as President Peterson mentioned, it stands for Recently Acquired Tech Students. And the tradition once stood that all freshmen were required to wear their rat cap every single day of their freshman year until we played UGA in the fall. If by some miracle we managed to lose to UGA, the freshmen were required to continue wearing their rat cap each and every day for a year. Luckily, this requirement is no longer around, and yet the hat remains as a symbol connecting you to Georgia Tech, its traditions, and again, our united hatred for that school to the north. So here's how you do it. On the upturned brim of the cap, write your full name. In the very center, you'll write the word rat in all capital letters. Below rat, you'll write your hometown and state. To the right of rat, your major, and to the left, your expected year of graduation, although we understand that it may change. On the back of the hat, you'll write the words, "To hell with Georgia." with it one word on each line. The word Georgia should be written in all lowercase letters because we choose not to recognize UGA as an institution of higher learning. If you happen to co-op, you'll circle the button on top of the cap. And finally, as the football season progresses, you'll write the scores of all of the fall football games on the hat. The word Tech should be written in all uppercase letters above our opponent. When we win the game, it's written right side up. If, again, by some strange occurrence, we come up a few points short, you flip the hat over and write the scores upside down. All markings on the cap should be written in black permanent marker. And your PLs should have Sharpies for you to write your names on the cap. If you haven't already done so, I'd invite you to take a moment to write your name and the word rat on your rat cap. We hope you guys will continue to fill out your caps as the year progresses with our football scores. So tomorrow morning, you'll enter your first classes, and you'll probably be bombarded by some of the first of many tough academic questions. But today, I have one question for you that will be by far the easiest question you will ever encounter at Tech. So my fellow Yellow Jackets, what's the good word? Congratulations and welcome to Georgia Tech.
Thank you, Nick. We had planned on having one more speaker with us this afternoon, Mr. George P. Burdell, but he just sent me a text and said he's unavoidably detained and won't be able to be with us. If you don't know who George P. Burdell is, look in your T-book. He's in there. One of the privileges of my job is to represent Georgia Tech in the community, throughout the state, around the nation, and at times even around the world. We have more than 135,000 proud Georgia Tech alumni, and there's a special sense of pride and an instant connection when I see someone with a Georgia Tech ball cap or Georgia Tech shirt or Georgia Tech pin. We have given you a Georgia Tech pin in your bag. Please find it and put it on. Just as your rat cap is a symbol that you have joined Georgia Tech and a very elite group of students, the GT pin is a symbol of your commitment and the commitment that you've made to your families, to yourself, and to Georgia Tech. Wear it proudly. And a few years from now, when you walk across this stage to receive your diploma from one of the best universities in the world, we'll add a Rambling Wreck pin to your collection. In closing, I'd like to remind all of our new students that they're invited to the Rock, Ramble, and Roll party in the Student Center immediately following the ceremony. Students, you'll exit the building, beginning with the top rows in the pavilion. Please follow the ushers' cues within the stands and dismiss for the shuttles when your row is released. Families, you may exit McCamish Pavilion from the east entrance, which is on this side. At this time, members of the Glee Club will lead us in the alma mater, followed immediately by the faculty recessional. The graduates in the audience are requested to stand and remain standing as the platform party recesses. Then I invite all of you to join in the singing of America's best-known fight song, Rambling Wreck. Thank you for your attendance this afternoon, and have a wonderful day.
Oh, they're not doing it. O sons of Tech, arise, behold the banner as it reigns supreme, for from on high the white and gold waves in its triumph. triumphant gleam. The spirit of the cheering throng resounds with joy, revealing a brotherhood in praise and song, in memory of the days gone by. O Scion of the Southland, in our hearts you shall forever